What's up, everyone? Welcome to the March 5th edition of FanDuel Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, you get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum when you sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. Be sure to use the code Awesemo to receive a 100% first deposit bonus up to $100. We have a 5-game NBA slate tonight, a bit of injury news that we're waiting on. So, as always, be sure to tune in to Live Before Lock in the hour leading up till tip on the Awesemo YouTube channel. But for now, we're going to take a look at 5 of the top tournament options on FanDuel tonight for the 5-game slate. Starting at number 5, Mo Bamba, only $4,600 and only projected for about 17% ownership. He has a 23% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Bamba has a relatively difficult matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies, both because he's going to have to deal with Steven Adams and because Orlando is certainly at risk of getting blown out in this game by a much, much better Memphis team, which could potentially cost Bamba minutes. But if he's able to avoid blowout and avoid foul trouble, there's a good chance you're getting around 30 minutes from Bamba. So the upside here is massive. For the season, Bamba has averaged 1.05 FanDuel points per minute in 4 starts without Wendell Carter Jr., who is out again tonight. Bamba has averaged 1.11 FanDuel points per minute. And overall, without Carter on the floor this year, Bamba has averaged 1.22 FanDuel points per minute. So this is a case where if things do go right in terms of playing time for Bamba, it's pretty likely that he gives you an excellent performance relative to his salary, and his ownership is a little bit lower than his chances of success. Number 4, Russell Westbrook, projected for 17% ownership with a 27% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Westbrook has been terrible this season from a real life standpoint. He's certainly been underwhelming from a DFS standpoint as well. He has a difficult matchup against the Golden State Warriors tonight, but he's only $7,000. He's point guard only, which does make it a little bit more difficult to get him into lineups. But Westbrook, despite his struggles this year, has still averaged 1.1 FanDuel points per minute and 33.2 minutes per game in the games that he's played without Anthony Davis and with LeBron James. We're at a point now where the price tag has adjusted to Westbrook's current production or lack thereof. So you're doing a disservice if you just look and say, oh, I can't play Russell Westbrook, he's been bad. You have to factor in the ownership and the salary, and he is projected to be a bit underowned at this price tag. Number 3, LaMelo Ball, 25% projected ownership, 30% chance of being in the optimal lineup. He is only $8,000. He's point guard only on FanDuel. In the games the Ball has played without Gordon Hayward this year, he's averaged 1.27 FanDuel points per minute. He's facing the San Antonio Spurs in the most appealing fantasy game on the slate. It only has a 3-point spread. It has a massive total approaching 240 points. Ball is coming off of a wildly disappointing game his last time out, where he dealt with foul trouble. He only played about 8 minutes against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We can throw that game away in the sense of you're obviously not expecting Ball to only play 8 minutes or anything remotely close. Ball does have foul issues and frequently loses playing time to foul trouble. So you can't completely ignore that aspect of it. But even if you only project Ball for, say, 32 minutes, 1.27 FanDuel points per minute in this spot is pretty appealing at relatively low ownership at only 25%, given the cheap $8,000 price tag. Number 2, Drew Eubanks, projected for 38% ownership, but with a 42% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Eubanks only played about 18 minutes last game in a massive blowout loss to Phoenix. The Blazers are certainly at risk of being blown out again by Minnesota tonight, which would not bode well for Eubanks' playing time. But the reason that he's still so popular and in so many optimal lineups is that not only is he $3,900, but he has power forward and center eligibility. So you have multiple spots you can get him in. He's essentially splitting, or at least most likely splitting 48 minutes at center with Trendon Watford. In games that are competitive, I expect Eubanks to be on the 26 to 28 minute side. In games where they're not, I expect Watford to play the bulk of the minutes and Eubanks to settle in around 18 to 20. But even if he plays 18 to 20 minutes, it's not the end of the world in a fast-paced game at only $3,900. Eubanks has averaged 1.03 FanDuel points per minute this season between his time with the Spurs and now with Portland. So it's a situation where even if Portland does just completely get run off the floor, you're probably okay with Eubanks. And if he does play fourth quarter minutes, he's likely to be a pivotal player in your lineups. Number 1, LeBron James, 44% projected ownership, 54% chance of being in the optimal lineup. James is only $10,300. He has small forward and power forward eligibility. You can say whatever you want about how bad the Lakers are right now. There's no question this team is awful. LeBron James may or may not really be interested in even playing basketball at this point. He doesn't seem to care all that much, and his teammates certainly don't help the situation because they are all terrible. But He's still averaged 1.52 FanDuel points per minute and 36.7 minutes per game in the games he's played without Anthony Davis this year. This is a fast-paced game against Golden State, albeit against a good Golden State defense. LeBron is pretty clearly underpriced to $10,300, and despite very healthy ownership, is also projected to still be under-owned relative to his chances of success. So to recap the top 5 tournament options on FanDuel: number 5, Mo Bamba; number 4, Russell Westbrook; number 3, LaMelo Ball; number 2, Drew Eubanks; and number 1, LeBron James.